is this that way?
That's the classic question. Everybody's always asking, why is this that way?
And we seek to answer it.
Mm-hmm. Hello, and welcome to WayTooBroad, a place for friends to talk about things they're really, really ridiculously excited about. A show and tell program for grown-ups. Show and show program for grown-ups. I'm Hannah, and these are my co-hosts, Erin and Ben. Hi, Erin.
Hi, Hannah. Can't wait to show you my shell. Hi, Ben.
Hello, both of yous.
Shell and show. Yep. Cool. Okay, so you guys at your computers right now, non-listeners, might be wondering why everything behind me looks completely different. Don't worry, I didn't move houses. I just moved my desk.
It took me a long time. Here's how observant I am. I'm like, Hannah has a ladder. 1 Mississippi. 2 Mississippi. And I'm like, meanwhile, studying the bookcase behind you for the first time.
Careful, bud.
And then I was like, and there's a door. Wait, she's in a new place.
Ben's also noticed the ladder first, and his question to me was, why do you have a ladder? Or why is there a ladder there? And I said, there's always been a ladder there. And he said, no, there hasn't.
Classic riddle. Classic riddle.
And then he figured it out really quickly, but I didn't have my headphones on when he figured it out, so I thought that I had stumped him.
And she came back and said, have you figured it out yet?
He was a real dingus in my eyes. So yeah, I just, I don't really know. I guess I'm not going to post a picture of my new setup because it is extremely cluttered, but I just wanted the listeners to know, in case there's like a different energy to the show tonight, that might be what's going on.
To the show.
We're like too distracted by the ladder that we're not really funny. That's why. Do you have the podcast candle still? Is there still space for potty canned? That's his name.
Wow.
That's his name.
Potty canned.
The boy candle. Yeah.
He's got a wick. I mean, you tell me. You tell me.
Not all candles have wicks, Erin.
That's true. And not just because it has a wick doesn't mean that it's a boy. Okay. You're right.
So anyway, yes, the potty candle's still here. In fact, my desk has much more room than before because it's much cleaner, because all of the clutter that was sort of like making its way over to my desk from Ian's side is now on Ian's desk, which is completely unusable for the degree of clutter that it has.
What's the impetus for the desk move? Other than to give potty cans more room?
Well, actually, we had to get our internet upgraded. Because of money. Like, it was like cheaper on an ongoing basis to make our internet twice as fast. So we were like, okay, well, let's do that then.
What?
Don't you love it when life's like that sometimes?
How is that the case?
I don't know, like Verizon does those like 2-year contracts.
Mm-hmm.
So my contract ran out. So like I got a text message. I don't know if I talked about this on the podcast. I had like a total freak out because I got a text message from my from Verizon saying that my next auto pay was going to be like twice as much as my last one. And then I went to log in to like figure out why, and it wouldn't let me log in. And when I went to recover my password, my zip code didn't work, and I ended up like chatting with somebody on the Verizon website thinking that like my fucking like login had been stolen or something.
Oh.
Every time I have trouble logging in anywhere, or I have like a 2-factor authentication that like involves my phone, I always think about that episode of Reply All where they talk about how like anybody can just steal your phone number at any time, basically. But anyway, it turned out that my contract had just run out. And so that was like the non like promo price. So it's like I could pay $112 a month for the same internet that I had, or I could pay like $70 a month for internet that was twice as fast. But they had to come like replace a box at our house.
Oh,
so that's
yeah.
the story.
How fast is your internet now?
100. It was 50 and now it's 100
megabits
That's a
per
good-
second?
That's good speed.
Yeah.
Wow, your internet sucks.
That's
good. Wow.
How fast has your internet been?
1,000?
Oh, well. We're not in California. We're not in the Silicon Valley, okay?
Nor am I.
We're just humble country folk living in the woods with what we think is fast enough for us, okay?
Yeah. I live in a rural area for
We're
real.
not like bit torrenting, the streams like
on
you.
the LimeWire.
Yeah, we're not
I'm
like
always on LimeWire. I live on LimeWire.
We're not doing all that fancy stuff. We're doing what we need to do to get by.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
We actually had a similar thing though when we had our shitty internet provider and we switched to Google Fiber because it was
Shitternet.
cheaper and like more than double as fast.
There
Or
you
it was
go.
like
Where's the double as fast?
more than double as fast.
Yep. Let's see. What am I drinking, guys?
What are you drinking, Han?
Okay. I'm going to do something radical. I'm going to start with the seltzer this week.
Whoa.
Okay. Because I got to remember what's in the other thing. I'm drinking one of these fancy ass LaCroix with like 2 flavors, and they call them the curate.
And you know
Curate.
they're fancy because they're more vertical than the
Yeah.
non-fancy.
Yeah, they're
ones.
long.
They're
They're fancy
taller.
long boy. Yeah, they're fancy long boy LaCroix, and this one's
They're
also
double
the
as
flavors.
tall.
Yeah, yeah. The flavor is double as flavor because there's 2 flavors in it. It's apple cranberry, but it calls it Palm Baya because
Ooh.
a fancy long boy. And
Mhm.
Wait, what?
in
My
addition,
Wait,
Pambaya.
what? It's apple cranberry and they just named it a new thing called Pambaya?
I don't know.
My lord.
It's just not even at all a combination.
Well,
Palm like palm.
yeah, palm is real. And the Baya, I don't know what that is.
Maybe that's French for cranberry. Do you know?
Do you know, Ben?
I don't, but I don't think it's... I'll check.
Baya. I don't think it's Baya. It does not sound French.
Cranberry.
Camberge.
All right.
And what's
hang
the other
on
one?
now.
Apple? Apple's Palm. Oh
Palm.
yeah, Palm.
Palm, yeah.
Okay.
Fuck you.
Apple's palm. Oh, right. So is that okay?
Baya,
That's
berry.
why we were wondering if Baya was French for.
I think
Cranberry.
it's Espanol because Baya is berry in Spanish.
Is palm apple in Spanish?
I don't know.
That would make more sense.
Did you
No,
say more
apple's
the sense or
manzana.
more?
None of this adds up.
I said more sense.
Yeah, you said.
It was purely on accident. I really wish I had intended to do that. Maybe my brain was like didn't catch up with the on purpose part before like the joke part came out.
That would make more sense. I think the first word is in French and the second word is in Spanish, and that's because it's fancy.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
That tracks.
Yeah, it's trilingual. This is my drink that producer Ian made. It's got seltzer and whiskey and
It got
And-
seltzer.
Lemon?
And it
Lemon?
got
Lemon.
whiskey.
no,
It's
not
got something
lemon. What is it?
settled on the bottom.
Ginger.
Ginger and honey.
Oh, I called it.
Oh.
Yeah.
Is that like preemptive, like you're about to get real sick.
Well,
Drink this in memory of me.
I feel still fine. So, okay, for the listener, Ian probably has the flu. He hasn't like been tested for the flu, but he went to urgent care with a fever on Tuesday, and they were like, yeah, you likely have the flu, so we don't need to do the test, just you have it, just take these different drugs.
Wouldn't it have been better to know for sure? I don't know. That's how I feel. Because then you just have to go around like clarifying that you're not sure.
Well, he hasn't been going around anywhere.
You're in line, Target during the peak season, holiday season hours, and you're like, I'm sorry, I probably have the flu. God, this is so inconvenient to have to keep practicing this.
He's been sending me out because here's the thing. Okay, Ian and I are married, so we do married things, right? And we were like we were still doing married things right up until he got this probable diagnosis. So I don't,
like watching TV together
like,
at night, or like holding hands, or
yeah, like holding hands and sharing spoons,
like licking each other's hands,
and then our
normal
own
husband stuff.
All right.
Like cool. Sneezing directly into each other's faces, just like normal married stuff.
Well, married stuff.
Kiss cough, kiss cough, kiss cough.
So I was certain that I would get sick, and I still may, but I feel like totally fine right now. Like what I have is like a light cough that I had before any of this started. That's like a remnant. Did you hear him?
No, I'm laughing before any of this. The way that people refer to illness.
But I guess I also want to tell the listener about this because Ian's coughing is extremely loud and intense, and you may hear it in the background, and I'll do my best to get rid of it, but it just might be there. Oh, and also, I fucking called this a day before he went to urgent care, because he was like, Monday, I was talking to him like at lunchtime, and he spent more of the call like coughing off the like off mic or whatever than he did like talking to me. And he's like, no, it's fine, I just have a little like there's something stuck in my throat. And I was like,
it's the flu. Stuck in there.
It's like, you sound horrible. And then I was telling him he had walking pneumonia. But he didn't. He had the flu, which is worse.
And you still licked each other's hands and then licked your own.
Yeah, well,
even after all of that.
Well, you got it in any good marriage.
It's hard to resist the temptation, honestly. You're sitting there, you see each other's hands, and you're like, gotta lick them.
Yeah, it's the foundation of a happy marriage, so we just like to keep up with it. So I was
there to witness those vows, so I would be on you if you weren't doing that.
It was in the vows. We have to do it. So I promised to let you lick my hand, and I'll lick yours, and then I'll lick mine again. So, yeah. So anyway,
it's the Bible.
I don't know why I don't have the flu right now, but currently at this point, I still have no symptoms of the flu. So,
fingers crossed for you there.
Thank you. But yeah, he did make this drink, so that's probably the end of that.
Did he crush the ginger with his teeth?
Probably.
Yeah.
It's customary. Yeah. Who's next? Erin.
That drink makes me so thirsty.
Why?
Ugh. I don't know. It makes me really want like a seltzer with a lot of lemon in it. Mm-hmm. Like overwhelmingly. Like, get it off screen. I can't. Or get it off screen, or I'll be right back. I'm drinking a cup of decaf Earl Grey tea. Yum. And look at this return of a quart of water. I'm at for those doing a hashtag water track. I'm at probably 20 ounces of water right now.
You'll never drink that.
I'll never drink that.
Baby Ben, what are you drinking?
Got an empty cup. Had water in it.
Ben! A, that's a great cup. B, come on, man. I'm gonna order you some quart jars for Christmas.
Thanks.
You need them.
Would you drink out of a quart jar if you had one?
Yeah, absolutely I would.
Yeah.
I'd never drink
Yeah.
that.
Absolutely.
I never drink that.
Oh,
I had a thing. Fuck.
did I have a thing? Christmas is coming up. Have we done all the?
Krampus.
Oh, I just watched. Oh, it was the thing that I did. It was the thing that we did.
Oh yeah. What did we finalize earlier tonight, Erin? What did you finalize earlier tonight?
Just made our reservations at the bed and breakfast for our trip to Savannah.
Woo, 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 woo.
So great. This year we are not going for St. Patrick's Day. This is an experiment
Mm-hmm.
to just see if we like it. You know, it was my idea. I just kind of wanted a little bit of a break from the St. Patrick's Day shenanigans. It's cheaper. You know, I just wanted a nice trip to Savannah to have like all the days be really, not that St. Patrick's Day wasn't always really good, but just like I just wanted to try. So we're gonna try it, see how we like it.
Yeah.
We'll probably do St. Patrick's Day again next year. Just, you know, just to take a year.
I don't know why you're being so defensive about this decision. Like, who do you think is so invested in us being
I
here
don't
for
know.
St.
I know
Patrick's
it's
Day?
not you. I know it's not you. I know all the listeners at home are like, but they got St. Patrick's Day. What are you doing that tradition? You know, listeners, they start to feel like we're their family, and suddenly we're like changing things. And
When are you
you
going?
know,
We're going
The
the week
weekend-
after.
yeah, the week after.
Nice.
Here's the thing about Savannah on St. Patrick's Day. It's still Savannah, and that's beautiful and wonderful, but it's full to the brim of just like annoying drunk people, just like pretty much every city on St. Patrick's Day. And so like we always would end up spending the least time out in the town
Yeah.
on St. Patrick's Day. So it's like,
Yeah.
I think
And
it'll
all
be
like
fun.
the restaurants are closed and stuff.
yeah.
So it was always kind of like we day drank and we started drinking early. And so by the time I got to the St. Patrick's Day night, that was always the night where we were like grumpy and tired and like nothing was open and we were hungry and
Mhm.
homesick. So I
Mhm.
just wanted to see if like, let's avoid that this year and just like have a full on time. So
We're going to try to have a full on time.
that's the goal. That's the goal. We'll see.
Yeah. So excited. Ben, how's your freedom been from the chains of classes?
It's fine. I've been designing an inductor
Nice.
Slash-
Same.
transformer on one magnetic core. That's what I've been doing this
Wow.
week.
Cool.
It's actually been really
Sounds
fun
sick.
for me and interesting. I've been learning a lot about
Is that a lot of
magnetics.
thought work? Is that a lot of thought work or a lot of like in the lab, like blowing stuff up?
It's a lot of thought and calculations,
Mm.
and then deciding stuff and recalculating. It's very iterative. You have to like decide on what you're going to use, calculate some stuff, see if it actually works. If not, go back and adjust your decision, and then find out if what you want's actually available.
Is this something that like no one has ever done before?
No.
Or is it something like
It's a very
okay.
standard like industry practice. Well, it's like there are very standardized methods for designing magnetic components, but the thing I'm making is something called integrated magnetics, which is where you make like two magnetic devices on one magnetic core. It's a whole another kind of branch where the design gets a little more complicated.
Kind
Wow.
of amazing that they still don't know how magnets work.
Yeah, it's incredible.
It's one of those things. Yeah, it's like, you know, it comforts me. We'll always have these little life mysteries. It's like, why did that one blimp blow up that I don't even know about? We'll never know.
No one ever will know.
Do you want to go into that non-reference?
Sure. All right. So I asked for a new editing software for Christmas. I'm going to test it out this week. So anybody who wants to let me know how the audio quality was this week, please feel free. I usually don't solicit that kind of feedback, but since I'm testing out a new software, I would love to hear if it sounds better or if it sounds worse. Just this once, just this week. But I the reason that I'm testing it out is because my Uncle Brown, my dad, is very supportive. He's a fan of the podcast. He's very supportive. Last year, he got me my editing headphones, which I still use every week. And he likes to get me things for Christmas that are like helping to further my dream of like having a podcast empire. So he asked me what would help. And I said that there's a software I've been looking at. And it's called...
Fuck.
Okay.
I was petting Como and then he bit me.
Oh, God. What the fuck?
No.
He's a little butthead.
Yeah.
Now he's just looking at me. He's so cute.
He's like, do it again. Do it again.
Anyway, this software is called Hindenburg. And it's called Hindenburg Journalist. And it's weird because there's another podcasting software called Reaper, which I was also considering.
Wow, really?
Which is another like death-themed one. Yeah. But Dad texted me back after I told him the name of this, and he wrote, very unfortunate product name. And like in the text, like not even like he didn't get a response and then decided that maybe I didn't understand. Like in the same text, he sent me a link to the Wikipedia article about the Hindenburg disaster, which I did not ever click on. You can see it's still blue. I don't know if you could see that.
Yep, it's blue. Can confirm is blue.
Because I know what the Hindenburg is, which is what I texted him back. Nevertheless, I want the software. I don't know why they called it that.
What's funny is that it's not like he was uncertain because it was like a reference from his time. This is like a historical thing that happened in 1937.
Exactly. Like, you don't have to. This is not like some secret of your generation.
It's also like in every science class when you first learn about like the noble gases and you learn that helium's not reactive. They're like, that's why they use helium, because remember the Hindenburg when it was filled with hydrogen and it blew up? Hydrogen's lighter, but it blows up. Like the Hindenburg. Remember the Hindenburg, kids?
It's also like there's like this quote that people use all the time that is like from actual footage of the Hindenburg disaster that everyone in the known world has seen, and people say, "Oh, the humanity" all the time.
Wait, that's from the Hindenburg video?
It is. Yeah.
Do you know what that is, Ben?
I have a link I can forward to you if you want.
It's not like some like obscure reference or like or anything. It's the #1 tool that they use to make sure kids don't use that hydrogen.
To make blimps.
Nothing would stop the kids from making blimps with hydrogen. Nothing. Thanks, Dad. Thanks for the link, Dad.
Yeah. But thanks, Dad, for the offer and and for the education.
For the learning moment.
Yeah. Now he's not gonna get it for me.
Yeah, probably not. You should get him to just go ahead and buy the license before Sunday. I have a quick. I just watched the Ellen DeGeneres stand-up special on Netflix called Relatable, and it was freaking funny. A lot of knee slappers, a lot of tears. Not like laughing tears, not crying tears. Really good. I liked it. 2 thumbs up. Do watch. She still got it, folks.
Cool.
She never lost it.
Never lost it.
Shit.
The newest section of Terrace House came out a few days ago. I've obviously already finished it.
Did you say section?
Yeah, it comes out in like I don't know, I guess they call them parts, but it comes out in like 8 episode chunks. What?
I just think no one has ever called a unit of a TV show a section, and people very often call them parts. So section seemed like a weird choice.
I don't know. They had this crazy terminology. Parts.
Have you
Kind of like that website that had a list. It's crazy. It's like newfangled. I don't know.
Yeah, I like to call it orderies but they call it a list. Well, I don't know, whatever. Anyway, it's interesting. It's fine. It's not my favorite section.
Wow. Great advertisement.
But they're trying some
good to
new
bring
stuff.
it up. Good to bring it up anyway.
It's out. You should watch it. And I applaud them for some of the bolder choices they're making, even if they're a little bit weird. That's all I'll say.
I have a thing.
What you think?
Hannah already knows this, but we decided officially on a name for the new kitten. Also,
what is it?
Have I said on pod yet that like we officially heard from the adoption place and we're like getting her for sure?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I don't know
but
if you said that
still
on
not
pod, but
until
hell yeah.
after we leave.
Correct.
You know what that is.
Her name is going to be Hazelnut.
Oh, I love that.
And it works in a lot of ways because like I think it was either I forget who suggested it when we were like walking back to our car after visiting her, but I think I did, and then Kylie really loved it, and I didn't like it as much, even though I said it. It works because right after we came up with that name, we decided that similar to how we call Como Bean was a nickname, we're gonna have her nickname be like Nut. So it works to have it actually be in her name, and then also Hazel is like the main character of Saga, which is one of our favorite graphic novel series. So it's like also kind of a reference to that. Nice. And we also both like when we think of like hazel eyes, I feel like we usually think of like eyes that aren't really a particular color and are sometimes speckled. You know what I mean? Like when everyone says hazel eyes, they're like kind of a nebulose. The color, the exact color. And so just remind us of that. And it's really cute. And we're gonna call her Hazel or a little hazelnut and Como Bean.
I love it.
Yeah, it's very good.
That's sweet.
And it made
So
it's so
nice.
exciting when you come like decide on a name because it makes it like even more real that we're getting her. And so I just got like renewed excitement today when we decided on that.
I have a cute. Will she be? She's a little kitten, right?
Mm-hmm.
Will she know not to fall off your loft?
We're gonna gate it
Ledge.
off for when she's young and can't jump over the gate.
Okay.
And then I mean once she's old enough it won't be that big of a deal if she does. Because Como's fallen
not a
off
huge
twice
fall.
and
Yeah.
he's fine.
Yeah.
That's incredible. Like any other animal, like you or me or like a
Yeah.
dog, falling from that height would be devastating.
Cats are
And
just
cat,
like fine. Yeah.
Yeah.
There's like this one section of height. I think I read it's like the second floor of a building to the ground floor is like that can be dangerous for a cat for some reason. But like above or below that, they usually can land safely.
It's because I know why.
Yeah.
It's because when they fall, they spread out to slow themselves down, and that probably that height maybe is like not enough time for them to that actually have an effect slowing them down. Whereas like if you're higher up, they can spread out for longer.
That makes sense.
Incredible.
Yeah, they're really amazing animals. The last time Como fell, he did not land super gracefully.
Yeah.
But he was just fine. We brought him to the vet the first time, and the vet was like, he might have hurt his back a little bit, but he's fine.
You're like, they were like, he's stupid, but
He's
fine.
dumb, but he's fine. When he fell over the second time, it was literally he just like got too excited and jumped too hard onto the railing and just slipped.
Wow. Might hurt his pride.
Yeah.
Is that it? Everybody got their upfronts out?
That's it.
Yeah, I got my fronts out.
Wonderful.
My fronts in.
Yeah. Out of your body into the podcast.
Happy a few days till Christmas.
Happy
This will come out on Christmas Eve. So happy
Yeah.
Christmas Eve to everybody.
Yeah, you fricks.
Big shout outs to everybody who's started listening in the last year. Oh, Erin informed us earlier this week that we're on a loop. That this time last week we were
last year.
This time last year, Ben and Erin had like the same obsessions that they had last episode.
Yeah, I started a re-listening plan for our podcast where I will listen every week. I'll listen to the one that just came out and the one that came out a year ago on that week. And the one that came out last week, Ben was talking about his new Pokemon game. I was talking about lesbian books. The one that came out last year on that week, Ben was talking about a new Pokemon game. I was talking about lesbian.
Hey, we know what we like.
Hannah had a new offering though, so
that's true. Good job, Hannah. Keeping it fresh.
Keeping that fresh.
Yeah, if you guys are starting to feel like maybe we're all just gonna, maybe you only have to listen for a year because we're just gonna keep on looping the same obsessions. Just think about the fact that I'm bringing new stuff to the table, so at the very least you can listen for me.
That's right.
Yeah.
Then turn it off when it's our turn.
No, but don't do that. No, but no, don't do that. Cool. So should we pop in?
Pop in.
All right. It's me. I'm first.
Hello.
Which is good because my obsession is short and dumb. So I've been I've been watching Critical Role. I've been re-listening to The Adventure Zone.
How far are you in Critical Role? Real quick.
Episode 14.
Nice. We just finished episode 26, and it was a wild one.
I saw some stuff on Twitter. I'm trying to avoid spoilers.
Yeah, do not look at the thing that Kylie retweeted the other day. Even though it is very good.
Would do that.
I hate her.
I have a cue for you guys real quick. You're consuming a ton of D&D podcasts and material. Are you feeling satisfied with the amount of D&D that you're then playing?
No, I want to play more.
I want to play more.
Yeah.
I miss it instantly as soon as we've finished. Like I'm like, whenever, and both sessions it's been Lucas been like, maybe we should call it now, and I'm always like,
he always says, this is a real natural stopping point. We were in the middle of a fucking fight, and he's like, this is really natural. This is a really natural and fitting time to end. Get the fuck out of here.
Because his character's like in a dumpster somewhere.
For him, he's just, he already left.
I have been consuming a lot of D&D content. I've not been creating enough D&D content myself. And, trying to get work done and whatever, and preparing, getting excited about Christmas and stuff. But I haven't jumped in on anything brand new this week. But one thing that I've only ever so slightly ever talked about is a new Instagram video sort of obsession that I have lately. It's another one of these kind of oddly satisfying things, these relaxing thingies. I wouldn't call it ASMR is a thing that I feel like a lot of my interests on Instagram are adjacent to. Do you guys know what that is?
Yeah.
No.
You don't?
Erin, as far as I understand, it's a reaction that do you know what it stands for, Ben?
Absolutely sexual, multiple reasons.
Hannah just spat her beverage all over herself.
Absolutely sexual, multiple reasons.
Multiple reasons.
There are multiple reasons for being absolutely sexual. It's multi-plane sexuality.
It stands for autonomous sensory meridian response.
And what it means is basically some people have this response to certain stimuli that it feels kind of like there's when I've heard it described as when there are fingernails scratching your scalp, that kind of tingly sensation. Not necessarily only on your head, kind of running down your body. I don't know how to describe it because it's not really something that I experience, but there are certain things that are that I also see tagged with ASMR tags a lot. So I just sort of want to make it known that I know what that is, but it's not why I'm watching these.
She knows what it is. We had to look it up, but yeah.
I don't know what it stands for, but I know what it is. But the things that I've been watching lately specifically are soap cutting videos. Have you guys watched these?
Yeah.
Yeah. You know what? When you were bringing up oddly satisfying Instagram videos, I almost said, "Oh, like soap cutting," and then I had a second where I was like, "That might be her obsession," and I was right.
It is. You were right. So
nice pen.
I had, well, okay, and actually it's not just the videos. I actually, the other day, so it's funny when you watch a lot of them, you start to notice the brands that turn up again and again. And a lot of them are Russian brands. This is another weird thing I noticed. Soap cutting is really huge in Russia. Like if you actually scroll through soap cutting videos, yes, like a lot of them, if you look at where they're from or even just like the text under their videos, it's like all in Russian. Like I actually started compiling a list. I was thinking about sending it into Reply All of just like all of the accounts that I've come across that are just like people from Russia doing soap cutting. It's just like a weird thing. And they all do like similar things, like like often they'll tag themselves as in different cities, like outside, like all over the world. But like one account will tag themselves like everywhere. And like it's not like they're really there. They're just doing like, I think to like ping on different people's accounts or whatever. But that's sort of neither here nor there. Anyway, I really like that clear soap, like like what they tend to call glycerin soap. I like how like smooth it is to cut through and stuff. And we saw some, and Ian knows about this, and he like doesn't need to be supportive about something like this because it's just like a silly thing. It's just a waste of soap. Do you know what I mean? Like it's not, but still, like he came across this one random bar of soap at like a job lot the other day, and he recognized it from like seeing these videos over my shoulder, and he was like, "Hey, look, it's that soap. You should get it." And then we were like started looking for cut proof gloves, because another thing that really freaked me out at first about those videos is that like a lot of times they'll use like just a completely open like knife, like a box cutting knife, with bare hands, and it like I'm like, how do half of these videos not end in like disaster?
I was gonna say I don't tend to like those because of that reason. I get anxiety from that part of it.
Yeah, I think I did at first too. What I found is that it's starting to become more of a thing that people wear like gloves or even like thumb protectors when they're doing it, which is helpful for me with that reaction. And also some people use like a peeler instead, which feels much safer to me. And that's actually, so I bought a peeler, and I bought some bar soap, and the Pears soap that we brought home, which is the brand that we brought home, was so much fun that I actually ordered like a bunch of it on Amazon, and it's coming tomorrow. So
you should start filming it. You could have your own little account.
Yeah, right.
Account.
I'm just gonna start like, well, no, I don't think I'm gonna do that because I don't have like a nice clean space to do it. But it's like a nice, relaxing thing to do.
The soap will make it clean
when you're. It's like a nice, relaxing thing to do when you're sitting in front of the TV, except it does like get a little bit of a mess on you.
I bet this is both a joke and not a joke. I bet the internet would love watching you stick your long pinky nail into soap. That would be like somebody's jam.
Do you just throw it out after?
We were talking about that because I have like a whole box of like different kinds of soap, like shavings, and I don't know what to do with it.
You can show it to your guests when they come over. Want to see my soap shavings?
Like I know
I have them all in a box.
I know if you let it dry out, you can like crush them more, but I don't really care about that.
What is that?
Can you make it like bubble bath? I don't know.
Wait, what's good about crushing them?
It's just like when soap. There's like glycerin soap, which is like on the smooth end, and then there's like dry soap, which is like kind of satisfying in its own way because it like kind of like flows off in an interesting way sometimes when people cut it. And then there's like soap curls and like soap like crunching, and that's like when they are like, usually that's why they'll be using the peeler, is because that makes these like soap curls. And then if you let those dry out, then you can just like crush them in your hand and they just like crumble into pieces.
Could you put it in a bottle of water it in water and feed it to your friends? That's not what I was saying. Could you put it in water and create your own like liquid soap?
Maybe.
Can you melt it down into a horrible soap beast?
Yeah, you can. Sometimes the videos that pop up, which I skip because I don't like them, are like clearly reconstituted soap that's been cut before.
Anna's a purist, okay? I just don't want you to think that she's in this like recycled soap bar cutting. Okay, it's gotta be fresh from the box. I gotta see them take it out of the box.
No, I don't. But here's the thing: if it's got different different types of soap inside of it, or it's got like all different types of textures of soap all amalgamated together, then I feel like the risk of the anxiety level about cutting yourself goes sky high for me, because they're not just dealing with one consistent texture. They're having to navigate like different ones.
Inconsistent.
Yeah. You're
like a grandma. It like hits 3 p.m. and you're like, gotta watch my soaps.
Yeah. So
you know what I mean.
Yeah, I do know what you mean. That's very funny. It's a great play on words that you did.
Everyone's grandma's like
play on word.
Yeah.
Play on word.
Play on word. So that's what I've been doing. I'll be doing I'll be shaving a bunch of nice lemon soap on my couch.
It sounded like you were gonna like advertise a stream.
This is not like a backdoor promo for my new YouTube channel. I'm just gonna be doing it.
What's your stream, and do you take suggestions? Can you stick your fingernail in it, please?
I really have like a long pinky and a long ring fingernail right now.
Yeah. Oh, you could curl it with your nail. That doesn't sound nice to me, but
it sounds like it would be awful for your nails.
I don't know. Hers have hung in there for a long time. Maybe it'd be healthy for your nails.
They're pretty strong. You know, vitamins. Yeah.
Yeah.
Keratin.
My nails are so weak that when there's like a tab, you know, when you can't get your tab up on your seltzer,
yeah,
and you need to like pry it, I have to get an external tool. I can't do that with my fingernails. My fingernails will bend. They won't.
Wow. You're like a baby.
I'm like a baby. I am like just like a baby in a lot of ways. I have to get an external tool to open myself to like a baby. It's just like a baby.
Yeah.
It's like a baby would.
Like a baby.
Yeah, so that's all I have to say about soap. So
that's nice.
Yeah, it's just relaxing. I don't know. It's weird.
You're weird.
I'll have to look up and see. I don't think I actually follow any of them, so I don't know any to recommend. But maybe I can figure out a good hashtag.
I feel like you should follow them.
But I don't. I just haven't. I think I have a couple in mind. I'll look them up to do for homework while you're talking, Ben.
I never explicitly watched the soap videos, but I watched a lot of like the sand cutting, the kinetic sands, like molding and cutting, which is really satisfying to me.
Mm-hmm.
And then I got recommended a bunch of soap cutting videos. Like in my Instagram, like explore is like a lot of soap cutting videos. So I'm sure that's why you haven't had to follow any, because you're just getting like suggestion after suggestion.
Oh yeah, that's exactly it. Like they just started showing up, and I was like,
yeah,
cool.
Okay,
I'm down with this. But I'll follow some because there are some that show up all the time, so I can tell people what to follow. Ben's up next.
No, Erin is.
No, Erin.
No!
I'm sorry, I said that twice. Erin's up next.
I just assumed that you were saying that you thought mine would be more boring, so you'd look it up during mine instead of Erin's.
There was some part of me that was probably implying that. You know?
Yeah. Okay, so I sent mine to Hannah beforehand because this is one of those ones that I love so much that I couldn't stand to love alone and not have somebody there to be like, yeah, and. So I sent it to both guys here, but only Hannah responded,
Mhm.
which is totally fine. I just wanted to.
I
make that
forgot to
fair.
watch.
What?
That is
real
totally
quick,
great.
real
Well-
quick. Here's a video of the horrible amalgamated
Ooh.
monster.
Yeah, that's not fun.
No.
Oh, I'm worried about their hands.
I know, I'm telling you. Let me save this one.
Zoinks.
So
Okay, go
my
ahead.
obsession is this YouTube. Can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah, you were
Okay, cool. Sorry, I thought I was breaking up.
for a second.
My obsession is this YouTube series. It's called, I don't know how you pronounce his name. Seth Rudetsky.
Rudetsky?
Seth Rudetsky.
Mhm.
It's called Seth Rudetsky Deconstructs, and it's this guy, and his name is Seth Rudetsky, and he's like like a classically trained pianist and like Broadway music, like Broadway theater freak, and has like played in the Pit on a bunch of shows, and like is like in the theater community, and it's him taking a song or two songs, usually one song from a Broadway musical, like listening to the like soundtrack recording and deconstructing it and like breaking down the parts and like explaining what he hears.
Mhm.
But it's not just like that description sounds so textbook. He's like the reason that I love these videos is that he's so like animated and excited about it. He's just like so it like the videos are on Playbill, but there are some that he did I guess before Playbill.
I was wondering where to find more because I don't.
I just googled Seth Rudetsky
Okay.
Deconstructs, and there are a few of them. The most recent two are he deconstructs the Schuyler Sisters and Waving Through a Window. So respectively, those are two different ones. Schuyler Sisters from Hamilton and Waving Through a Window from Dear Evan Hansen. And there are several things that are really impressive about these videos. So the first is that he's amazing and adorable and hilarious. He's really, really, really funny.
Mhm.
He's this gay Jewish man with this huge nose. He's got like this giant nose, and which is not relevant to the video, except it's just like a funny thing. And he's like so excited and delighted. So he's a classically trained musician. He's like performed in Broadway. He's like really integrated into the Broadway theater scene. And you would assume that he's just some like amateur enthusiast, not by the way that he's talking, just from his like level of enthusiasm. It's like he's like dazzled as if for the first time by the musicality and like all of the aspects of these songs. But what makes it really interesting is that he's not an amateur enthusiast. He's like a classically trained musician. So he points out all of these really cool things. It takes him about 20 or 25 minutes to get through one song. He'll talk about one song. He'll play it bit by bit. And I love so many things about it. I love the way that he sets it up. He'll set up a section for you. And he's like, oh my God, I love first thing to listen for is like the musicality when the singer does this with his voice. And he'll also use the like technical words and then define them. Yeah. In case you don't know what they are. Yeah. And not in a snobby way. He'll just be like, oh, I love the, staccato or like this one, or he'll like be reading the sheet music and he'll be like, oh, listen to the delicious piano. They come in, I'm forgetting all the terms. I've like, was going to say I learned a bunch of terms. I'm like blanking on them right now. But he'll just kind of like throw the word out and then he'll just like quickly define it. And so it doesn't feel like he's talking down to you, but it also doesn't feel like he's like showing off. It's just he's making these videos like approachable to everyone. And he's so driven by his own enthusiasm about it that you're just delighted to watch whatever he's doing. And it just happens to be that what he's doing is really interesting and also extremely educational. And so he'll go through a chunk of like a few seconds of song and point out vocally impressive things or like interesting things or like things that are maybe unique about this piece of music, or impressive about the type of singer, or impressive about like this piece of musical in Broadway as a whole, or like what this piece reminds him of. And then he'll play clips from that. He'll point out some orchestration notes that are really interesting. He'll point out lyric notes that are interesting. He'll point out instrumentation stuff that's interesting or odd or reminds him of other stuff. And so it's like this like you get this kind of peek into his brain of what it's like when he listens to this music, and it's really interesting. And then when he plays the clip, he's like looking at the camera with a delighted look on his face, and he's like, he dances to like point out the things, but it's actually like really effective. Yeah. He'll be like, oh, there's this like gorgeous, it's so brilliant. He talks really fast because he gets so excited. And he's using these, like, he's, like, this flamboyant gay man. He's, like, using these, like, really great hand gestures and, like, oh, my God, it's just delicious. And he's, like, and he'll be referencing the people, like, because he knows them, right? He's like, I have to ask Ben Platt why he did that. Ben, if you're listening, let me know. Or, like, I told Alex, like, I just love that part. You know, he's, like, he knows these people, but he's, like, geeking out about it as if he like doesn't. It's just delightful. And so he'll have previously pointed out, like, listen, in the deep background of the song, almost imperceptible, I have certainly never heard a lot of these things before. He's like, this is really beautiful and clever. And then as the song's going on, where I would normally be focused on like the main lyrics or the main like melody, he'll mouth out or like he'll like conduct out this like little back thread in the song, and you'll just hear it. It's like amplified, and you're like, oh my God, I've never heard that before. So it just feels like I'm hearing these songs, and I've gone back and listened to them like on Spotify, and I'm like, he's not altering the track, he's just pointing it out, and now I hear it for the first time.
That's cool.
And it's delightful. And another impressive thing about it is like they're like 20 or 25 minutes long. They're all one single take. There was like one where I saw a quick cut, but it wasn't while he was talking. It's not like he's like collaged together this whole like 20-minute tirade about, you know, his love of this song. This is like he has really well prepared notes and song clips that he dances to, and it's just one take of him doing it. He just like does it and then it's over, and it's just incredible. It's just the energy is amazing, the content is like so good. I just fucking love it. I've been watching them like so I've been rewatching the same ones like just because he delights me.
You're making me want to go. I've only watched the one about about the Schuyler Sisters, but you're making me want to go back and watch it again because it was so wonderful. It's like really nice because you know what I was just thinking about? You were talking about how it's like from the level of excitement, you wouldn't think he's so entrenched in the community. I also think it's amazing that he's able to keep that up for the number of times he must have had to listen to this to not only take all of the notes that he references, but also pull all of the cues that he has ready, because he's not just going back and forth in the song itself. He pulls up songs from other musicals. He pulls up songs from from In the Heights. He pulls up songs from his old musicals when he was like 8 in this one part. Like he had to go dig that up, and like there's so much preparation that goes into these videos, and then he's still just so excited to be there and tell you everything that he loves about this song. It's so great.
As if it's like for the first time he's discovering it. It's like one when he does the waving through a window one, he mentions that he's like, by the way, I'm just going off the sheet music. I normally have a list of things, and at one point he like flips the page of sheet music, sees something, and then is like gasps in delight because he like cannot wait to tell you about this next thing that he like, loves. It makes me think a little bit about our podcast, just a little bit about how like he has a platform for like expressing the thing that he like loves and is obsessed with. And like even I think it's just so endearing. He'll like explain something to you and be like, oh, listen to the scoop. He has this little scoop. It's just so beautiful. It's like his voice is like and he'll play it and then like do it with his hand. He's like, oh, we're gonna listen to that again. I'm obsessed. And he'll like, just like replay it right then again, like for him. It's just so good. It's just I just love it so much. And another thing is that I kind of like realized this after I decided it was going to be my obsession. I found it like really inspiring too. So like I love musicals, and I also like really want like that's like a music goal of mine someday is just to like to write a musical, even just for myself, like just to like write. That's something I would love to like spend some artistic energy on. Mm-hmm. And it was actually after the first one, I don't know, I guess I just stumbled upon this video with him doing the Schuyler Sisters, but just like watching him like play the piano and talk about like music theory things and like talk about like some technical like terms, or he'll like point out time signatures or point out like music theory stuff that's happening. That after I watched that video, that's when I like started teaching myself piano. I was like, oh, I'm gonna. He makes it. He's classically trained and he's a professional, but he somehow makes it so accessible that I like got inspired to kind of start down that journey of like of learning from watching his videos. So
that's wonderful.
Love it.
He seems great. I'll watch the other one too. If you have other faves that you've found, because I'm on his website, but he doesn't have his newer videos on there. It doesn't seem like.
Did you see that he does Broadway cruises though?
Yes. Like, does he organize them?
Awesome. Yeah, I think he and his husband organize these Broadway cruises.
Wow.
With like Broadway stars, where you can go and like watch, like geek out about Broadway stuff.
Wow, that's adorable.
He also was a writer on the Rosie O'Donnell show, which was a show that I watched a lot when I was a little kid.
Wow.
Yeah. So
now he's got another series on here called Obsessed, in which it appears that he is playing music with people from other people from Broadway.
I haven't watched any of those.
They seem like they could be.
I can't speak to those.
Yeah. I would probably really enjoy those also.
I won't be held responsible for those, but they're probably great. Awesome. Yeah,
I really am excited to go watch that after this.
Yeah, he's super fun. I just wish there were more of them and there was a playlist of them.
Yeah, I know. I'll create a playlist for you the best I can. He has one about Thoroughly Modern Millie, which is really good also. But definitely, I mean, if you watched the Hamilton one, the Dear Evan Hansen one, and the Thoroughly Modern Millie one, that's like, almost an hour of solid Seth Rudetsky content.
I could handle more. I want him to do every song in Hamilton to start.
Yeah. Right, because that he would have something to geek out about.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm in the middle of watching one that is another one that's really good and interesting. So I'll send it. I'll make a little playlist that you can share with everybody. Great. It was one of those ones this week where I was like, I have so many things I want to say about it. I'm like, don't know how I'm going to remember all of them for podcasts, but I think I covered most all of them.
I think you said quite a lot. There were a lot of things that I was thinking
about. I think you've said enough.
I know. There were a lot of things I was thinking about adding, and you covered all of them.
Oh, good.
So it's good.
Excellent.
That was not a jab. I know it sounded like one. I talked about soap. Fine. Wasting soap. That's what I talked about. But yeah, no, everybody should watch those. Erin, if you made a playlist, that would be amazing.
Okay. We'll do.
Awesome. Should we pop into Ben?
Pop in, Ben.
Mine is a movie that I saw this week. And
I know what it is.
Yeah, you guys do, because I told you I was seeing it. Didn't know it would be on by obsession before that. Although I did hear from many people on Twitter and other places that it was really, really, really good, which is why we went to see it. It's the new Spiderman movie, Into the Spider-Verse. Have you guys seen it? Either of you seen it yet?
No.
It's
I was hoping you'd bring it.
I have
good.
Been out of the Spider-Verse.
I wanted to go with Ian when I heard that you were seeing it, but then Ian pointed out that that's like literally an epidemiologist's nightmare is for actively coughing, sneezing person who probably has the flu to go to a movie theater.
See how neater this would be if he was actually diagnosed with the flu. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, true. That's a good point.
But I've heard a lot about it with no specifics at all, so I'm very excited to hear.
Do you want me to give you a quick synopsis? What it's about? Can we give you the pitch?
Yeah, no, I want to hear it.
It's about. Yep. So, do you remember? Like, I looked it up. It was not Peter Parker. Actually, in 2011, the first there was a new Spider-Man series that started coming out with a new Spider-Man that is like a mixed race black Hispanic kid from Brooklyn named Miles Morales.
No.
And he is the main character of this one, but he like grew up in a world where Spider-Man has been Spider-Man for 10 years. Like Peter Parker lives in this world too and has been Spider-Man for 10 years.
Oh.
But then some shit happens, and I'm going to try to give a good synopsis without giving spoilers. Some shit happens, and a bunch of other Spider-Men and women and pigs from other universes, other dimensions, come into his dimension. And they all have to work together to get back and to destroy the thing that brought them there in the first place, which could also like create a black hole under Brooklyn. And the other ones are Gwen Stacy, who, do you remember in whatever Spider-Man movie that Emma Stone was in, where she played the love interest that wasn't Mary Jane, it was Gwen Stacy, but she gets killed in that movie. Spoilers, it's like 10 years old. It's not really spoilers, but spoilers.
Yeah, get with it.
So she dies, but in her universe, Peter Parker was her best friend who died, and she became Spider-Woman. And then there's a different Peter Parker. There's Peter Porker, who's played by John Mulaney, who is an animated pig. He's Spider-Ham, who's like a real comic from like the 80s. There's Spider-Man Noir, who's from like the 1930s in a black and white dimension where he's like a private eye, and he's played by Nicolas Cage.
Wow.
And he was fucking hilarious also. And then there's Penny Parker, who's like from the year like 3100 or something, and has a psychic link with a robot who has a radioactive spider in it or something. She's also funny and interesting. I think that's all of them. I feel like I'm forgetting.
Catherine Hahn is the voice of Doc Ock. That's cool.
Yeah, and Doc Ock is I don't know if it's like Doc Ock's daughter or if it's like this universe's Doc Ock is a woman.
It just says Doc Ock.
She's called Doc Ock in the movie.
This is animated.
Yeah, the animation is so fucking cool. Like it's I've never seen any animation like it. It's like a lot of it's like made to really look like a comic book moving, it seems like. But so many of the scenes are just like so beautifully done, and like so many fun effects. Like when he first gets bit by the spider and like starts becoming Spider-Man, all of his thoughts like become comic style like square thought bubbles around his head. Cool. It's like there's cool things like little effects like that, and it's just like absolutely like visually stunning. Absolutely stunning as a movie. It's amazing.
So the whole thing's animated?
Yeah, it's animated.
Cool.
It's just so good. I can't let alone the fact that like how great is it for there to be like a minority superhero, like for Spider-Man to be like a black teenager from Brooklyn.
Yeah.
That's just like great ass representation. And then also the movie itself was really funny. Like it was really, oh my God. They like poked fun at some dumb shit in old Spider-Man movies. Like there's just, it's so good. I loved every minute of it. And I don't like a lot of superhero movies except for Iron Man 2.
Yeah, of course.
And it's like second only to Iron Man 2 as the best superhero movie I've seen.
I'm glad to hear you say that, Ben.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's so good.
Cool. Well, so it's like, but it's a different, there's been a lot of playing around with the whole superhero genre in recent years, but you would say it doesn't remind you too much of even something like whatever that one is with the Starman.
Starman.
Guardians of the Galaxy?
Yeah, like where that's like it's funny, but it's still also superhero-y, or like I hesitate to mention Deadpool, but Deadpool.
I would say in terms of like the tone and feeling of the movie, I guess you could say it's like reminiscent of Guardians of the Galaxy.
Okay.
In terms of like,
What do you have against Deadpool?
I've never seen it.
Like it was like over hyped at
Over
the
the top.
time. You know, I don't know. I feel like Deadpool was before Guardians of the Galaxy, right?
I don't think
Yeah, I think so.
Was it?
Oh.
Deadpool.
Movie wise?
Yeah.
Deadpool was 2016. I'm pretty sure Guardians was before that. Yeah, Guardians of the Galaxy is 2 years older.
Oh, yeah.
Wow.
Nice, Ben.
Well, that's interesting. I don't know. It's just
Do you think of those as like the same?
No, only in that they're both like they're like messing around with like superhero movies in different ways. Not like their tone is similar, but I guess in terms of tone, my preference is much more towards Guardians of the Galaxy.
Have you seen Thor Ragnarok?
Yeah, it's good.
That movie is fucking hilarious.
Yeah, very funny. Very funny.
And it's like this one, I would say, is not as like it definitely doesn't take itself super seriously, like I don't know, like Avengers movies usually do. But it also, you know, there's like definitely something real at stake, and it's like very much also a, you know, he's like a teenager. He's like, I think he's like in 8th or 9th grade, so like it's a coming of age story. Also, there's some stuff about like, you know, how your personal heroes can let you down sometime, stuff like that. A lot of just a real nice father-son relationship that grows as part of it, and like in a real healthy way. It's just a lot of good things on a screen all at once, and the whole time it's really beautiful and the most unique animation I've ever seen.
Awesome. Well, we're gonna see that.
So many bright colors.
As soon as we know that neither of us are plague vectors, Ian and I are definitely going to go see that.
What more could you ask for?
What more could you ask for?
That sounds great. I really also want to see it now. Speaking of movies, I totally forgot to mention, I saw last night Edward Scissorhands in the theater.
Oh.
And it was this place, it was this chain, I guess they're a chain, or they're around in multiple states. Have you guys ever been to an Alamo Draft House? I don't know if those are near you or whatever.
I've heard of it.
No, what
but
is that?
It's like, it's a movie theater, and they have like, they show regular like current movies, but they also have things like they showed Edward Scissorhands, and they have like reclining chairs and like you like full service food and drinks and like a kick-ass menu. So I watched Edward Scissorhands in a recliner chair and had like a burger with truffle oil and brie on it and an eggnog milkshake with like whiskey and rum in it.
Wow.
It was awesome. While I like reclined, like while I watched the movie.
It's pretty sick.
Anyway. Yeah.
I think it looks like the closest ones to us are in like New York.
Yeah, so I guess there's like,
our movie theater has nice recliners.
So does
I think
ours.
it's a chain, but like not a ton of them.
It is a chain, but
Let's
not
see.
a ton of them.
There's one. There's one in Arizona. There's 2 in Arizona, and there's 1 in San Francisco.
And there's 3 in Arizona. There's 4 in Arizona.
They're all in Arizona. We went to Arizona last night to watch Edward Scissorhands.
I think I've heard of it because they also do like live shows there. Because I feel like I've heard of it from podcasts saying that they're going to do live shows in Arizona.
One in Yonkers.
Yeah.
Yeah. They have all sorts of cool special events and stuff like that.
Well, Alamo Draft House, come up to Massachusetts.
Yeah, it's neat. It's real neat. Like they have like dances, you know, they'll play like dances.
They have dance. Full stop.
Dances. That's what she said.
Dance. Oh,
Ben, there's
man.
one in New Mission up north of San Jose.
It's in San Francisco.
Okay.
Did I say that?
Well, no, probably.
I definitely did say there's one in San Francisco. I
didn't
want that
hear
on the
you.
record.
The record will show.
Yeah. Well, I'm in charge of the record, so I guess we'll see.
That is really funny that when you zoom in to that area, it like shows San Jose as the biggest city when it's like right next to San Francisco.
Yeah,
which is
it
definitely a
didn't show-
bigger city.
It did not show me San Francisco. It's still not showing me San Francisco. When I zoomed out, it showed me San Francisco, but when I zoomed in, nope.
It does if
So
you
they have
cancel the search.
Yeah.
They have like special menus for like different movies that play.
Oh.
So like they're having a Gremlins party, and
I
it
love that movie.
includes themed props, including a themed drink menu, plates for throwing, and confetti poppers.
Plates for
Nice.
throwing.
I guess it's like a thing in the movie. I don't know.
But I don't even know, like, what are plates for throwing like, and where are you gonna throw them?
I guess they're paper. I don't know.
Probably.
That's what I would do.
Wow.
Me too.
So anyway, like they have a Beyonce video dance party.
That sounds like a good
Dance
place.
party.
Anyway, it's neat. I just got reminded about it when you said about that.
When you said about that.
It's just what happened.
It's
They have a whole vegan menu. It's neat.
neat.
Everyone should see this spider movie.
I might try to go see it out on a freaking draft freaking house.
You know,
You friggin' should.
The movie theater near us, for some reason, it's like not going to be there past today. And I don't know when it's like out of theaters in general. I don't know why the movie theater near us
Things
is
move
just
fast
being
in
shit.
La La Land.
But it's super. You know, I haven't seen that movie, La La Land.
It's
I
fine.
like that movie. City of Stars. It's a musical. What do you want from me?
What do you want from her?
What do
I
you
like
want
it.
from me? That's not a song.
I think it's a great movie. I love it.
We could see it right down the street at a place with recliners, but no delicious food or dances. So
Dances.
we'll go do it. Cool. Homework?
Yeah.
What's my homework? I found a couple of accounts that people can follow. One of them is called soap.asmr.ns. I definitely think that she's in Russia. A lot of the Russian accounts have two random letters in them. Maybe are their initials, I'm not sure. But she does good work. So, whatever. And then the other one I recently found and only just now followed. Are these chronological? Please help me. No, they're not. I'll just post a link to it because I can't find it. But yeah, if you like just search like soap cutting or whatever, there's a lot of different kinds. The most popular one is like first they cut it into like a bunch of little cubes and then they cut it. Those are not my favorite. I like when they cut a whole bar of soap just into like little slices. But find
little
your
slices.
little slices.
Little slices.
But find, just scroll around, see if anything's
Find your bliss.
fun to watch. Yeah. And
Do it.
now and my Twitter's at Hanthropology. And I have another podcast called So Dreamy where we talk about dreams. Erin called in and left us, or she actually recorded a dream and uploaded it to our Slack yesterday, in which her dreams were affected by our dream podcast topics.
What the fuck?
Yeah, it's getting fucking weird out there, y'all.
So that's really fun. We just had our year
I dream
anniversary.
about Hannah a lot, is really what's going on.
Yeah, I was in the dream. We were on the run for no reason. Yeah, you've only there's been 2 or 3, but that's good.
Yeah.
I'll take it.
No,
There could be
there've
more.
been more. No, I'm kidding. Yeah. No, I think there's definitely been more, but since I've, been recording them for you, I think.
You're in my dreams a lot too. I had at least a couple on that podcast where I mentioned you. We're just cousins and we love each other.
Yeah, get over it.
Who's that directed at, Hannah?
Get over it.
Yeah, it's not that big of a deal.
Erin, what's your homework?
It's not a big deal. My homework is go check out Seth Rudetsky on his Deconstructs. Seth Rudetsky Deconstructs on YouTube. His last name is spelled Rudetsky. Woo. ooh, watch out for that T. That's a sneaker up. Ones I would recommend to start with, Seth Rudetsky deconstructs the Hamiltons, the Schuyler Sisters. He will instruct you to leave the YouTube video if you've not memorized In the Heights. So I wanted to reassure him somehow that I have. I wanted to be like, it's okay. I'm good to be here. But I appreciate his gatekeeping.
Yeah.
There. Check those out. I'll create a playlist and get that over to Hannah for you to have. That's figure 1.
Wow, we fucked that up this week.
Making that
Whoopsies.
happen. You follow me on Twitter, Adam Byrne. I review lesbian movies at LesbianMovieReviews on Instagram. I still have those apps deleted from my phone, so I'm not on them. But you can interact with me, and I'll see it like at some point when I get them again or so whatever. I have music at earnburn.com.
My music.
Check that out.
Very nice.
My music. I'm music of the night. Or the day.
Baby man.
Okay, my homework is go see that fucking Spider movie, dog. It's so good.
Okay.
Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse, bitches. I feel like I forgot one of the spider persons.
There's a lady.
Yeah, hold on.
I feel like
everyone pause the podcast.
I feel like Ben.
We'll do your whole music.
I feel like Ben is the best co-host for like our SEO because he always like talks about shit that's relevant to right now.
Recent.
What's SEO? Search engine optimization.
Search engine optimization.
Yeah,
oh,
like
hell yeah.
Pokemon.
That movie's getting searched, you know it.
Spider-Man. Although Dumplin was probably getting searched last week.
Not as much
Okay,
as
there's
Pokemon, you freaking nerd.
There's like a dude in a cloak. There's like a dude in a dark and there's like a grayscale.
That's Nicolas Cage. That's Spider-Man Noir.
Yeah. And then there's like a freaking
Gwen Stacy her outfit's super badass. She's got like a hood.
yeah, it's cool.
Is it like the first Lego movie vibes?
No. That's
Okay.
extremely silly, you dumb.
It's a good movie.
Yeah, it's a great movie. There's a sequel coming out. We saw a trailer for it
We
were seeing that movie.
Yeah, he did.
I know.
Okay. So my Twitter is nope, not that. I almost said any Disco Greg. It's
No.
nicely proved Ben. Pictures of Como all the time. And in a little over 3 weeks, pictures of Lil Hazelnut and Como being hopefully cuddling together. I really hope they get along super well. I think they will.
Just take your time, dude. That's what I'm going to tell you.
What?
Introducing them. Take your time.
Yeah. We're going to do the best we can.
Take your time.
Because
That's it.
If you don't take your time, you might have to waste a bunch more time reintroducing them if you're like us.
Oy.
Yeah.
You might have to waste a lot of soap.
Yeah. For all the stress. All right, cool. Then what do I do now? Okay, if you want to email us, you can do that at WayTooBroad@gmail.com. I'm freeballing right now because I don't have my notes in front of me. Okay, here we go. If you
You're doing great.
if you want to leave us a voicemail and just tell us anything about anything we said, tell us what you feel about the Spider movie. You can call us at 774-326-0420. Oh, hey, tomorrow sales start for the pot shop in Wareham for the recreational marijuana store that's going to be in my town. It's the fourth one that's opened in Massachusetts. That's what made me think of it.
Is that something that are you gonna like do a podcast high or something? That could be fun.
I don't know. I think that might be terrible to do and hear because my brain is bad when I am on high. So so that's probably not going to happen. Also, they have like this dumb shit thing. Like we could walk there from here, but because the locals are like worried about traffic, they're making everybody park at this like water park that's closed for the winter, like 2 miles away. And
Waterways.
and then they're shuttling them over. And you have to like have a ticket that proves that you parked there in order to go in, which means if we wanted to go in there, not only would we likely not be able to get there in time for them to have anything left in the first like few weeks, but we'd have to go park farther away from our house to ride a shuttle back over.
How does that make any sense? Who does get to park there?
Just locals, just like people who live there. But
You're
it's
a
stupid
local.
because like what if I know, but they don't get to go in for the first 30 days, Ian says. I'm getting a correction.
Weird.
The locals can't go in for the first 30
They
days.
can if they go park at Waterways.
That doesn't make any
That's
sense.
so weird.
It's fucking stupid. Like we could walk there. So anyway, once it calms down and once things settle, maybe we'll go just take a look at what they have. But I don't know if we're those types of people anymore. Ian never was. I don't know if I'm that type of person anymore. I just don't know if my brain can handle it. But more power to all thems and everybody that's helping.
Legit.
Mm-hmm. So it's cool. I do think it'll be really good for the community. Anyway, I guess I could have talked about that instead of soap, but here we are. My podcast, So Dreamy, I talked about that. Oh, I'm way behind. Okay. We have a website, WayTooBroad.com. We have a Twitter.
Way behind what?
TooBroadPod, myself. We have an Instagram, which is WayTooBroad. You can find any of those contact things I just said, including all of our Twitters and the phone number on WayTooBroad.com for anything that you want. www.earnben.com for anything you need. Please leave us a review on iTunes. Some of our stickers are now gone, not because they were asked for, but because they were given as a Christmas gift. I'm not going to go into any more detail because, as you might expect, those people do listen. So, there are now limited quantities available.
Hey!
So send us
They're
some
big
reviews.
and durable.
They're
Scarcity is a real mover.
big and they're durable and they're scarce. So, get in there.
I liked how you were like, we have a website, WayTooBroad.com, and then you listed our other things, and you're like, and you can find any of those things I just mentioned at our website, WayTooBroad.com. So you can, if you're looking for what our website is, go to WayTooBroad.com to find it.
Yeah.
Do it.
That'll work, you know?
It'll work. It will work. It will work perfectly.
Okay, and then I think that's the end of the podcast. So what?
Merry Christmas if you do Christmas.
Merry Christmas if you do Christmas. Happy New Year if you like
Do
that
that.
sort of thing.
If you use our calendar.
Yes.
See you next year, you fricks.
Sooner
right?
than that. Yeah. Sooner. Bye. The podcast candle's now extinguished. Bye.
Bye. Yeah, you're right. 'Cause we'll have another. Right, okay. So. I gotcha.
Bye.
Potty can is next.
He's gonna take a rest. He's gonna have a little
There is a keystroke to put my computer to sleep that I'll use when I have an external monitor.
Mhm.
And a keystroke that's one different in the same row is to turn my computer off. And then my home keyboard and my work keyboard have those two buttons switched
Mhm.
all the time, just turning my fucking computer off when I mean to like get away from my desk for a second.
No.